Now, for some professional dancers, there is not much to Jerusalema about, with many feeling that government is, in fact, failing the arts and doesn't have a clear plan to keep the sector alive. Let's unpack this issue now. We're joined by renowned dance choreographer Gregory Maqoma. He is also the founder of Vuyani Dance Theatre and chairperson of the Stand Foundation. Gregory, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the AM Report. I mean, the Jerusalema Dance Challenge in so many ways has become almost like an anthem for South Africa and for many people around the world, in fact, but particularly here at home during the pandemic and the really hard months of the past 6 months of lockdown. It shows the importance of dance.
Absolutely. I mean, firstly, good morning to you and the viewers. Molweni nonke on and Happy Heritage Day. And it should be celebrated. Jerusalema should be celebrated because I think it is sending a very clear signal that the arts and culture in South Africa has a potential and ability to really unite not just South Africans but the entire world. I think, what we're raising as questions, particularly in the dance sector, is are we really asking the questions, the real questions, particularly from government? Is government asking themselves as to how did even Master KG get to enjoy this such success? What did government do in ensuring that he achieves that such success? What is government doing in ensuring that many other artists are able to sustain themselves even post-COVID-19? I think those are the pertinent questions that we should be asking ourselves before we are told that we should head for Jerusalem. As much as we appreciate and we enjoy the success of Master KG and the song and his team, we also have to be cognizant of the fact that the arts continue to struggle and they have been really underprivileged, appreciated in this country, and we need to ensure that we tackle the issues head on.
Yeah, I mean, what you're outlining there is in fact one of the criticisms that Arts and Culture Minister Natim Tetwa has faced himself in lauding Master KG when the success of the Jerusalema song and dance was initially taking off, and for many other artists as well, who the Arts and Culture Department have sort of latched onto once they've become successful. But that is the main question you're asking there. What part did the department play in that success?
Absolutely, but also I think even a more important question is, what is the department's plan in ensuring that the artists themselves, there's a plan, there's a coherent plan that will ensure sustainability of the arts. Why do we have to be subjected to even having too much for us to be validated as artists? Why do we even have to, to be arrested? It's almost like history is replaying itself. Most of us really grew up in the township in the 80s. And during the hype of apartheid, so we know what the struggle feels like. So we've been there and we've tested that, and we've also responded to that kind of struggle, and we won. The Toy won, Struggle Theatre won. It was the artists who were in the forefront of ensuring that the entire world was aware of what was going on in South Africa. So why now in our democracy, 26 years later, we still have too much as artists? Yeah. And that is really the question that we should be asking ourselves as artists, and let's stop being complacent. Let's stop being, being drawn into the celebratory modes, which government has really been successful in doing. It's Heritage Month. All we're hearing that to go and dance to Jerusalem. What about go and buy a book by a South African writer? Go and watch a South African film. Go and watch a virtual content that's online that is created by artists. Those are the things that government should be pushing forward. Yes, as we dance to Jerusalem, let's not be complacent.
Yeah, absolutely. So what has been your experience, Gregory, as Vuyani Dance Theatre, which has such an incredibly long history in our country as well? During these 6 months of a hard lockdown, what was that like for you?
It's tough because we woke up, we had planned over 2 years an amazing tour for the entire year. We had performances that were planned in Europe, in America, in the continent. So you wake up overnight and all that is gone. So, COVID has not only stolen lives, it has stolen jobs for many of the for many of us in the arts sector, and it's hard. And we are fortunate as Vuyani Dance Theatre, and perhaps again, it's by the pre-planning that we've had in place, that we had reserves put aside, so we were able to survive and maintain our dancers, our team of 23, or who are on full contracts, and pay them full salaries up to this date.
Sure. I mean, if you talk about why it's so important that government should support the arts, let's take a look at the hard GDP numbers here. 70% is the contribution of the arts sector to our country's GDP. How has that translated to the support that you've received, particularly during the hard months of the lockdown?
I mean, I think, in comparison to what the creative sector is bringing in terms of economic value, we cannot even compare the two, because what we're getting back in terms of the support mechanism during lockdown does not even speak to what the intrinsic value of the arts is able to give to society, but also the financial and economic value that the arts is able to bring into the country, and that is disturbing in itself. It shows there's a disregard from government for the arts, and we continue to be drawn into some form of a slavery, in a sense that we are called upon when we are needed by government, but we are not being heard when we really need to be heard.
And I mean, the relief funding that was available, we understand, was so incredibly badly managed that many artists were unable to access that funding. And when we introduced you, we also said that you are the chairperson of the Stand Foundation, and that foundation formed in part as a response to the economic hardships that artists experienced during the lockdown.
Yeah, I think, the formation of STAND, which stands for Sustaining Theatre and Dance Foundation, we don't see ourselves as a funding body, but we are more of a lobbyist body, where we are ensuring that we look inside, we look upon the artists to support each other. We're creating projects that will allow artists to again reclaim spaces, projects that will allow artists to be working again, to be earning an income. And it's by artists supporting each other. This foundation was, founded by artists themselves. We came together and we said, look, we're not getting any joy from government. How do we then start to really stand up and create things ourselves? And it's not just about creating or ensuring that there is creativity within the sector, but we're also ensuring that we need to continue to lobby government in various ways. And by that, we've also issued a working document which is looking at the vision for theatre and dance. And that document is already posted on our website, Stand website, which is www.standfoundation.org.za. So I urge all artists to go and look at that vision document and contribute to it, because we want to use that document really as a guide in order to lobby government to understand that our sector is also essential.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Gregory, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning, and thank you for the incredible work that you and the Vuyani Dance Theatre have done and continue to do. I think all of us can attest to the importance of the arts, particularly during the lockdown. It is the sector we turned to get us through that hard lockdown period. Gregory Maqoma is the founder of the Vuyani Dance Theatre. He's also the chairperson of the Stand Foundation.